Okay, 2012. Let's see. Yeah, 2012. 2012. Wow. Well, little did I know. I didn't know that the system and people, I didn't know that people in my life and people from my work crews were orchestrated how to treat me. So not only the work company, the actual individual people at my work knew about me. And they were treating me in a certain way. So when I stayed at Michael's at the beginning of the year, and when I checked Wayne and Bronwyn in Cannington in 2012 or whatever, that was all planned. Wayne waited for me to get there to Bronwyn's house, and then he dropped a line on me, oh, so how do you know your cousin, this and that. And that Michael Turkin, or Alex Turkin, Bronwyn's boyfriend, he was sitting there with a camera, and I thought it was a bit strange. Now I know it was all a setup. They were doing it all on purpose. And when Bronwyn was in the room with that other young girl, that was all a setup. People wanted to see what I think, or what I was going to do, while she was showing me all the pickle jars and all this kind of stuff. So people were all orchestrated what to say and how to act around me. See what happened just then? That wasn't me, that was people making me stutter like that. They talking in the background, right now as I'm speaking. And when me and Wayne went to Subiaco the one time, yeah, there was two cherries there. I was sitting at the kitchen table with this one cherry having a dog. I think it was gin and juice. Then Wayne was dialing this other cherry. Now, he came out of the room with this other cherry and she was in a short dress, right? I was sitting at the table. Now, him and this cherry, they made a noise at the door. And when they made a noise, they made me look. And when I looked, I just remember seeing both of your faces looking at me. And she was looking back and she was like, half her dress was up and you could see like panties and all this kind of shit. You know what I mean? I just remember that because Wayne and her were looking at me like two rabbits in the lights. No, I remember this. So that was a setup as well. Everything in my life has been a fucking lie. Everything's been a setup. I got the results from Sillbase in February to April 2012 saying that I am the father. I spoke to Haley on Facebook about meeting him. Everybody knew what's going on except me. Now I went to hospital for pancreatitis this year. 2012. And it just so happens that I never ever had pancreatitis. The system gave me those pains. They made that pain for me. The health system, they can make you feel fucking any pain they want. They made those pains happen for me. It was the worst pains I've ever felt. They said it was pancreatitis. And when I went to the hospital, I was spewing because the guy said he's going to have to take a fecal sample, which means he's going to put his finger up my butt. And I thought, well, don't you just put swabs and that there these days? You don't have to put your finger up my butt. This was the system taking the piss out of me. Because they say I'm a rapist 2 times for having air sex with two women. So this was the system bullying me. So now they've made me feel these pains. And I thought it was from alcohol. It's not. That was just an excuse they had. Because I used to drink. So they made me feel these pains. Made me get to the hospital. Then made some guy stick his finger up my bum. This is the system laughing at me, bullying me. Because of what happened with these ladies in my life. I worked at Global Resources to save for my trip to Africa. I worked with a guy there, Micheal, Galveo, Richard Moore, and Rick Clements. Rick Clements spoke about his girlfriend having a smelly pussy. This is 2012, and then now I realize that it's because people have seen video of me and Haley. And they've seen these photos of camel toes and sports asses and upskirts from the internet on my phone. So now they're relating whether I have some kind of fascination with woman's pussy and shit. They want to see what feedback they get through their technology from me. When this guy talks about his girlfriend having a smelly pussy, they want to see what I think about women and smelly pussy now. Because they know what I'm thinking. They can tell what I'm thinking. They can decipher what I'm thinking to myself through some kind of technology. I didn't know this until last year. Imagine that. So anyway, these guys I worked with at Global Resources. And Sarah Cheeseman, the office girl that made me feel like a cunt and made me swear to office girls, and she wouldn't book my flight, and I had to go in there for a week, and my supervisor got up on me about it. She done it on purpose. It's a woman. A woman were bullying me because they say I'm a rapist. So the woman in the system were telling the woman in these employment companies that employed me, they're telling them that I'm a rapist and basically getting them to bully me. So everyone's bullying me and treating me like an asshole. I didn't know they were doing it on purpose for something so serious, which is untrue. These things might have happened, but they're not intentional or any kind of deviant intentions or sinister intentions. John, the guy with the steroids, Irish fella, he had a penis pump there. And I think people wanted me to catch on to his notion. I think people wanted me to get a penis pump so I can use it in my room because people were watching me in my room. This is where they exploited me and made me look like an arsehole, is in my room. It's in my mother's house. So anything I'd done in my room, people were watching me through the TV. I didn't know that. People were making me paranoid. I'm looking for cameras around. There's someone looking at me, this and that, doing dumb shit. And people are looking straight at me doing dumb shit, looking like a stupid guy. Anyway, that's how I met Rob, through Byron. That's when we saw some that looked just like Craig Thomas at FMG. Yeah, so people looked at me, smoke, or they looked at me, and people thought I'm stupid because of the look they see on my face, obviously. Because the things people do to me, they really think I'm dupsy or daft or stupid, you know what I'm saying? And that's far from the truth. This is why we are where we are at the moment. This is how I managed to work it all out. People are telling me why they done what they did, like they had a right to do what they did. People have invaded my privacy, disregarded my rights, taken away my jobs, my careers, my investments, my kids' investments, harass me, bully me, intimidate me, stalk me. And people treat me like I deserve it. They even say I deserve it. I've been a good guy my whole life, you know, brought up to respect other people. And this whole time, all I've done is given my friends my sincerity and my respect. And all they've done is treat me like a fucking asshole and made a cunt of me. You must feel what that feels like when you realize that the last 5 years of your friendships and your family has been fake and you didn't know what everyone else did. And people have been actually watching. Doesn't feel that great. Makes you wonder why people treat you like this. And when you hear the reasons why, it's it's blasphemy. So then I realized, when I went to Africa as well, my first holiday, people were treating me as a potential pedophile and a pervert and a rapist. There's a few things that happened in South Africa the first time. They stuck in my mind because of the way people behaved. Certain things will stick in my mind, and when I've got a subject to attach to the way they behaved, it makes perfect sense. So these things that happened in South Africa the first time. So when I went to South Africa, my family and that know everything, right? Whether it's the Salvation Army that's over there and telling them what to say or how to treat me, but everything's been orchestrated for me personally because I'm a potential pervert, pedophile and a rapist. See, so I didn't know nothing at this time. Everybody's pretending they know nothing. Carlo was sitting on the couch like this with his feet up. You know, like that. And I'm thinking to myself, how old are you? I'm not thinking with that tone of voice, but when I think of it now, I was thinking to myself, that time, why are you sitting on the couch like a little kid? You know what I mean? Uncle Tony was telling us about his new Samsung TV. Now I realize they probably had a camera in the TV looking straight at us. Carlo was sitting on the couch like this because it's some kind of sexual or pedophile natured shit. You know what I'm saying? With his legs close together like this, maybe his balls sticking out there. You know what I'm saying? He was doing that to see what I think, because people can read my thoughts. They can decipher what I'm thinking, and they're watching me through the TV now. You check. So that's why he was doing that. So one day we were outside with the whole family, and Carlo and his daughter Zoey, beautiful little girl. She was doing handstands. Now I've got my camera, so I wanted to get her action shot doing handstands, and I was taking photos of my can and all that kind of stuff. Now these people were in the frame of mind of perversion. That was nowhere close to my mind, exactly. I was taking a photo of my nephew or niece, my niece doing a handstand, action shot. Not ever once did I think of anything perverted. You know what I'm saying? And I realized when I saw Carlo doing handstands, he started doing handstands really fast. Because I wanted to say to him, why do them so fast, you know, just do it a little more relaxed. Like you're doing one after the other, one after the other. And I realized this is a ploy that they use. It's to speed up my process of thinking. So if I'm thinking anything deviant or sinister, I'll think it quicker and people will know what I'm thinking. Because of the technology, they already can tell what I'm thinking. So this is why people do things fast. He was doing handstands fast to speed up my thinking. To see if people make me anxious, whether I'm gonna start thinking deviantly or sinisterly, if that's the right word. So this is why people do it. It's a ploy. It's a very psychological ploy to test people out on their ways of thinking, or to speed people's thought process up, their hearts, their actions. It's very psychological stuff. J would ask me to come down to the bottom house, and I realized now, because it was really dark, there was no lights on, and there was young cherries over there. So they wanted to see what I thought of that. Not J Wood himself, he was just orchestrated to do that. There's a whole different technology thing going on. People know what I'm doing. They know my heartbeat. They know what I'm thinking. There's a big technology side to what's actually going on. People are orchestrated to lead me and do things in front of me. So the people from the system can read what I'm thinking. And they can take down notes from my heartbeat, my heart rate, my actions. You know what I'm saying? They can judge what my intentions are, basically, or my thoughts are. J Wood's girlfriend, she came to sit down next to me in a little blue dress. She walked straight up to me and she sat down, but she didn't take her eyes off me once. You know what I'm saying? So I kept eye contact with her because I didn't want to seem rude by looking up her dress or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But the way she came up to me really fast and sat down there like that there in a little dress, you know. It's another thing that sticks out in my mind. She was orchestrated to do that because she had a little dress on and people thought I'm some kind of pervert, so they wanted to test me out. Waylene in Durban, she was looking at me from the glass door in a bathers. She's looking a little promiscuous, like just standing there quietly, not saying or doing nothing, you know. Yeah, just looking like a naughty girl in bathers kind of thing. That stood out in my mind because I always thought it was a little bit strange for me, you know. She's a little girl, but the way she was acting, you know, was more big girl kind. Anyway, at Petal's house, Petal was talking about Robin's son's little nuts while he's doing his handstands and all that. So people just wanted to see what I think when someone says these things to me. And me and Barb, we had the drinks in the room, but Uncle Tony's house there. And I wanted to take the drinks out, and Barb didn't really want to take the drinks out. So we like naughty boys, you know. And I'm a bit nar because I'm like, we're 35 years old, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to come to the fucking room to sneak a drink and get drunk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's drinks are outside. Let's go outside. They didn't want the drinks outside. So I think it was a ploy to see if I wanted to get up to some funny business, you know what I'm saying? Maybe take one of the cousins or someone to the room and have a drink and then crack onto them or something like that. It was all a setup, you know what I mean? It was all a setup. Stacy sitting in the room while we were opening presents. I think she had a little skirt on and this and that. And we only spent 3 days in Durban. And I realized why we only spent 3 days in Durban is because in Durban there's a lot of young girls around. You see, everyone's got kids there. And there's a lot of young cousins and girls. So because of, not my history, because of what people have been told and what they're doing. So now they don't want me around the young girls and people's family and all that there. You check? This is what happened. I figured this out this year, in the last year. So they were isolating me basically from my family. Kept us on the farm there for almost 7 weeks. And when we were supposed to go to a place with Petal and that, see, Petal's got the young girls and that there. Monte Anto organized for us to go with my father and her wife, his wife. So everything was orchestrated in a way to keep me isolated from my family and friends because there's young girls around. So they think I look at girls in a perverted way because of these stupid photos I had on my phone and of one drunk night with my cousin. So they've put something together now where my mind is this perverted fucking thing, you see. So they basically saying they're looking out for themselves now by isolating me because I'm this kind of person. Not the case. So that's why we only spent 3 days in Durban out of the whole 7 weeks we were there. It's because there's young girls and other people around in Durban. So they wanted to keep me away from them. We never saw Bianca Martin. Gareth said she's a baby maker, this and that, you know, whatever. Never saw Hayne Clark, Noel Norris or his sister, or Bianca Martin. And now I know why. It's because they've got young kids. And Bianca Martin's got a couple of young daughters, beautiful girls. It's because all these people got kids. And people know what happened with me and these photos and my cousin. So that's why we never saw these people. I saw Noel Norris's dad the day before we left. I saw Bianca's mum there at Mandeni. When we were driving up the hill to Mandeni, walking down the hill was like a brain cherry, and she just gave me a dirty fucking look, snide me. And I always laughed about it. I thought, hey, these brain cherries, yeah, I didn't know about chew nothing. Hey, gave me the dirty look, he said. And it was just a setup. It was to turn me off from chatting women up in South Africa. It was to turn me off women, basically. It was to deter me from chatting up women and getting with women in South Africa. So people wanted to put a downer on it. This was all planned. Now I know. I'd like to know who thinks like this. The plans are shit. To fucking ruin the quality of my life. Because the quality of my life has been absolutely shit on. It's been absolutely ruined. All the possibilities of happier times and good times, even relationships, beautiful relationships developing, has all been ruined. Gareth used to walk fast everywhere. Always walking fast, 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 fast. Gervais got snooty with me one time at lunch. I don't know why, I just asked him a simple question. He's like, okay. And he got mad. He's probably orchestrated to do that. And carry on with me. And I mean, he's only sitting at the tables by himself and betting, you know, because that's how he is. Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's a bit fucked, you know what I mean? Straight up fucked. I mean, I haven't seen you for 25 years. I mean, you can't fucking sit by the table with your cousins for a couple of nights. You know what I'm saying? Out of your whole life. Hey, that's VIP status, eh? That's a bit swag. And now I realize that's because he wanted us to walk around, go somewhere else. People wanted to see my behavior, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. Because he doesn't want me to sit at the table there with him now. They want to see where I'm going to go, chat up girls, do this or whatever. Because people know what I'm thinking. They want to see. They're creating scenarios where my mind's going to start thinking of things. So they want to see what comes up. I was feeling a little isolated dishing up food at the wedding. Standing by myself. Just seemed strange. Why am I standing by myself in front of a whole family and friends that I haven't seen for 25 years? You know what I'm saying? I'm standing there by myself. Just seems really strange to me, man.